Can you hear me? Is that on? Okay. So I'm Sam Lentz on the Orem City Council. I'm just finishing up my first term this year. I want to take a step back to about 6 years ago when I went to my first city council meeting, since I think it was a Cub Scout in Pennsylvania where I grew up. And one of the reasons we bought our home here in Orem was I work from home and I wanted fast, reliable internet, and I knew Orem had fiber internet. So I thought, oh, this is going to be perfect. So we bought the house, we move in, I call up, guess what? We don't get it at our address. And I didn't find that out until we'd already bought our house. So I started going to the meetings. Like many of you over the years, maybe there's an issue that maybe gets under your skin a little bit, or you want to know what is the city doing to solve this. And so I started going to every city council meeting, trying to give them ideas of, I think we could fix this if we tried this. And after a couple of years of that, I realized I don't think anything's going to change unless somebody that cares about this and is passionate about this issue runs for city council and takes this challenge on. At the time, Utopia was kind of a political landmine. We were in all this debt, and it was only benefiting about a third of the city. And we were frustrated because there just wasn't an end in sight. We didn't know when Orem was going to be built out, when this amazing service that had so much promise was going to be available to all of our citizens. And our debt payments were going up each year. So we pay about $3 million a year to Utopia, and by 2040, that would have been about $4.5 million. So as I was working on that for the first few years on the city council, I came up with some proposals for how we could get the entire city built out without any new debt, any city debt, I should say. We essentially would have co-signed on the loan like we've been doing for the last 9 years with Utopia. And you know what? It's been completely self-sustaining. That model has never cost Orem. We haven't had to pay into that debt at all. But sometimes you're only one voice of 7, and so things don't go the way that you want to. We kind of move at the speed of government. Sometimes, do you feel that ever? And so what I did at that point, once I realized, okay, this solution isn't going to go forward, what can we do to make the situation better, to make the status quo work better for Orem? And as of May, we finally have a build-out plan when all of Orem will have access to Utopia within 3 to 4 years. And again, no new debt, no new taxes, no new fees, and that means that everybody in Orem will be able to choose to have the fastest internet in the United States. And I know maybe sometimes internet seems like a luxury, but when you're trying to send that email or you're having a FaceTime with your grandkids or something like that, I like the idea of we're not going to be dependent on whoever the monopoly provider is in our area. We can choose from a dozen different providers, and if we don't like the service we're getting, we can go to somebody else. So that's something I've been working on. That's been one of my primary areas of focus for the last few years. Debbie talked a little bit about what, at this current moment, what I consider my top priority and what I want to try to focus on, and that's our police and fire departments. This year, I did something I never expected to do, and especially during a re-election year. I didn't know I was going to be running again this time, but I proposed a property tax increase. And now in Orem, that seems like a weird thing to be announcing when you're asking for people's vote, right? But I did that because the cuts that people were asking for, that already took place about about 10 years ago when the recession hit. And Orem was essentially going through the couch cushions to come up with every single penny we could. And so those cuts hit our police and fire really hard. And so as we've rebuilt, we've tried to do that in a sustainable way. And that's why this year I proposed, it comes out to less than $1 a month for the median household. That, as Debbie mentioned, that allows us to hire 4 new police officers. The next thing I'd like to tackle is how do we ramp up our fire department so that when it's time to open up that 5th fire station, we're ready to go. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Thank you so much, and I ask for your vote. Thank you.